I'm Rob Howe, and Diabetics Doing Things is my everyday reality.
What's up, everybody? It's me, it's Rob. It is now 7 a.m. in Dallas, Texas, and today I'm gonna take you behind the scenes of my life as an everyday reality. So this is gonna be a real life, day in the life. I'm gonna take you through everything I go through from a diabetes standpoint, take you behind the scenes of Diabetics Doing Things, of Recreation Dallas, my other company that I don't often talk about on my diabetes channels. And we're also gonna go to the dentist. So we've got ourselves a pretty busy day. And the point of this is to show you that even with diabetes, my everyday reality is doing as many things as I can, as best as I can. So I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get started. Really the first thing that I do every day is check my blood sugar or calibrate my pump and my sensor. I had a little bit of a rough night of sleep, but this morning my blood sugars are kind of back in range, and I'm just gonna lick this blood off my finger rather than just do an alcohol swab because it's me. And I'm back at 80, so a little bit lower than I normally start, but starting my day at 80 milligrams per deciliter, so I am going to enter that into my pump here so that I can be fully calibrated and ready for the day. And then I also try to meditate before I leave the house for 10 minutes, and I think I'm on day 93 as of shooting this day straight of meditation. So I'm gonna take some time to do those things before I get out of the house and before I get for my 8 o'clock call. One thing that I like to do in the morning, if I have a podcast going out that day, is to make sure that all of the creative is all scheduled, that everything's right. So today at 9 a.m., while I'll be at the office, a new episode of the podcast, episode 111, 111, is gonna get posted. Everyday reality for us is our dog gets into the pantry. All right, so we're heading to the office. On Tuesdays, we've got I guess today's Thursday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we've got early calls with one of my clients. So I'll take you guys behind the scenes a little bit of that. Might be some muting, just protecting the names and identities for the safety of all involved. All right, so some of you are probably wondering, like, wow, if this is everyday reality, why didn't Rob eat breakfast? And the truth is, I don't really like breakfast. And I was listening to this podcast with Terry Crews earlier this year, and he was talking about intermittent fasting, and it kind of got me curious, so I tried it, and I really like it. I used to eat breakfast. I used to believe that because I had diabetes, I had to eat every meal. You know, it was important not to miss one, just to keep my blood sugar stable. But since I'm on CGM and have closed loop system now, it's a lot easier to kind of be flexible and eat at different times, eat different things, or not eat at all if I don't want to. So that was something for me that was a big change that I made this year that made a really big difference, is not eating breakfast. I still get that dawn phenomenon every now and again when I my feet hit the floor in the morning. My hormones kick in, my liver dumps all that extra glucose, and I'm like, okay, I'm shooting up a little bit in the morning. But if I don't add breakfast on top of that, it keeps things really smooth. And you know, so for the most part, I'll just get a good cup of coffee when I get to the office. As you can see at WeWork at 8 a.m., it's a little bit slow. But on Thursdays, we have 8 a.m. calls. So the rest of the team will be in here shortly. So most of you guys know that I run Diabetics Doing Things and the Diabetics Doing Things podcast, and you'll see me on Instagram and maybe traveling around to speak at different diabetes events throughout the country. But what I do most of the time, like during the day, is I work at my own advertising agency that my business partner Sterling and I started 2 years ago. So most of the time we're just coming up with creative concepts for campaigns, whether on social media or other media buys, planning strategy for different brands. And that's what I work on, you know, from 9 to 5 every day. And
just trying to solve problems for other people, for other consumers, helps me be better at solving problems for people with diabetes and creating content for that as well. I've been doing that for about the last 10 years, working in the marketing and advertising industry. And I think that's a little bit about how I got started in the diabetes space, is just understanding that there is an audience of people out there who want to consume content and could use helpful things for them. And so I just went out to create that. And that's how I got into podcasting, and that's how I got into creating content for people with diabetes. And so there's a lot that you don't see, even though I share quite a bit of my life on Instagram and other social media. You don't see all the work that goes into some of these different campaigns. And part of being an agency is that most people will never know that you worked on the campaign versus a specific brand. So it's kind of nice to be behind the scenes in that everyday reality. And just in a meeting earlier, I had to calibrate my pump again, and even though I've got really strong numbers today, just dealing with a little bit of technology, like in the middle of a call, my pump alarm went off for me to recalibrate. So while we're on the phone, had to test my blood sugar and get that going. So part of the everyday reality is just you never know what to expect and kind of have to roll with the punches. All right, I got to roll out to lunch for a business meeting, so you guys can't come. You got to bail. See you after lunch. I know you guys didn't get to go to lunch with me, and I'm a little bit disappointed in that because I wanted to share what I ate. I had a burger and fries, which on the surface doesn't seem like a normal thing you would want to eat from a healthy perspective, but I don't get the bun. And so I just have a little bit of the carbs with the French fries, and then no carbs in the bun or the burger. And that's kind of been my go-to for the last few years. I eat out a lot because A, I'm kind of lazy and don't like to prep food all the time, and B, I have a lot of lunch meetings. So in those meetings, I try to keep it low carb. I almost always get the bun taken off of whatever sandwich I'm eating. It just makes it easier for me. So when some people look at you and you're ordering lunch and you say no bun, they might laugh and smirk it off and be like, oh, you're trying to watch your weight or watch your diet or whatever. But for me, literally watching the amount of carbs that I take in so that I can minimize how much insulin I take, which minimizes how tired I might feel afterwards as my insulin's bringing my blood sugar back down, and also leaves me with my blood sugar at a more stable rate. So right now, I guess about 35 minutes after I've eaten, I'm 105 with an arrow up. So I'll probably peter out at 140, and I've got 2.7 units of insulin on board. So my guess would be that as I'm continuing to run around and lay on the table at the dentist, that my blood sugar is going to keep a nice even line, and my auto mode is going to kick in and make sure that I stay within range. And that's a successful lunch for me. So that is just a little bit of the math and the equations and just the calculations that go into every single meal that people with diabetes eat. Not every day is perfect. Yesterday, I had a tough time at dinner time. I ate a little bit more of a high carb dinner than I normally do, and it was delicious. But I had a little bit of a high blood sugar afterwards. So, taking those with a grain of salt. Today I woke up and said, today I'm gonna have good blood sugars because that's how I choose to live. And I'm not gonna be defeated by the things that have happened in the past that I don't really have that much control over. So, sort of just a mindset. Control what you can control, and if things don't go your way, have a short memory, and just keep pushing forward. All right, so something special about today, a little bit outside of the everyday, is I'm going to the dentist for the first time in a long time. I'm your typical dude. I don't like going to the dentist. It takes too long. But one of my 2018, as we go over a speed bump, one of my 2018 New Year's resolutions, and we have literally 2 weeks left of 2018, was to go to the dentist. So I'm making sure I cross that off my list today. So we're gonna go, I'm gonna try to see if they'll let me bring a time lapse or something into the dentist's office. But regardless, take my word for it, I'm going to get these pearly whites checked out today. So that, it's important to take care of your mouth with diabetes, and I have neglected that for a few years for dumb excuses. So I'm just gonna go and hopefully get no judgment from my dentist, but turning over a new leaf today. So done at the dentist. You know, it's just, dentist sucks kind of for everybody, but bill of health on these chompers. I just gotta keep going back regularly because, you know, diabetes, you can have other complications like with your eyesight or your teeth, even though your blood sugars are in range. So just another thing to add to the everyday reality. Something that's really great about this campaign is you can donate to diabetes research to help find a cure for both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So check out the link in this video. I'm going to put it in the description. And go to American Diabetes Association, diabetes.org, to learn how to donate. All right, leaving the office for the day. One of the things I know about myself is I've got to get exercise if I'm gonna feel good and perform at my best and just generally have a good attitude. Right now, my blood sugar is like 198 because I was hungry and I ate some peanut butter and it's just slow to wear off. So really looking forward to getting into the gym and getting my body moving so I can bring my sugars down. We worked a full day. Now it's time, the sun's going down. Time to hit the gym because the only thing that makes me feel better after a long, stressful day is just getting a good sweat on. So let's go inside. Back home yet again, ready to end this long day. Got Casey over there getting his camera. We're gonna finish up here at the house. Everyday reality, man. Blood sugars at the gym. Going into the gym, not great. Coming out of the gym, looking pretty solid. Or at least coming down a little bit. A little bit of lack of sleep last night, contributing to some insulin resistance today. Gonna knock out this Diabetics Doing Things podcast for tomorrow, and then we're gonna call it a night. Hey, buddy. All right, back home, long day. Before I get any food, it's 7 o'clock. I'm about to get my podcast schedule for tomorrow. Make sure I got all the Instagram creative ready to go. And you know, get my my blood sugars on the way down. It was about 197 we saw in the gym, and on its way down with some insulin on board. Hey, stop! Leave me alone. I'm doing a video. And you know, just gonna gear up and do it again tomorrow. I think that's the thing that people don't realize about diabetes is, especially people without diabetes, there's no breaks. No matter what you have to do in the day, your number one priority almost is always diabetes. So if whatever that to-do list looks like, number one is count carbs, test blood sugar, calibrate technology, think about, you know, am I ready to go to sleep? When do I have to change my sensor? When do I have to change my infusion set? Can I go to are all my prescriptions filled? And balancing that can be a tough thing. And that's the everyday reality of this disease. Type 1 or type 2, we all have a lot of things on our mind. So I am gonna keep doing things because that's what I love to do. That's the way I give back. And Diabetics Doing Things is here to stay. And so thankfully is the American Diabetes Association. So go to diabetes.org and you can raise money to help find a cure and fund research for type 1 and type 2 diabetes. And together we can make an everyday reality a little bit easier with better technology, better access to healthcare, and better resources. See you next time.